If you loved the designer bead cap ring, you're gonna love this project. The inspiration for this design kind of came about when I was making the bead cap ring that I did a few months ago, and I just wanted to find a new way to use the bead caps. So I have a few examples over here to my left. I have, we're gonna be making the silver one today, but I have also a gold one with some beautiful labradorite beads dangling down. So you can kind of make it your own, but it's just a fun new way to use smashed bead caps. Okay, so let's go over the tools and supplies we're gonna use today for this project. We're gonna need a hammer and a bench block. I love to use my domed chasing hammer for this design. We're gonna need some smashable beads, or if you want bead caps. I'm going to use these beads to dangle from the bottom, but really it's up to you what you wanna use. Some jump rings, some chain, and a flush cutter, a chain nose plier, a round nose plier, a metal hole punch, and a flat nose plier. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we're gonna do is smash our beads. And these are so fun to work with because you can hammer them and they pop open and then they turn into these awesome little components. So I'm gonna be using these here. And here's another style for the bottom. And I'm just gonna show you how to open one of these up. So take your hammer and bench block and kind of hammer it out a little bit. And when it starts to pop open, you can actually fold the leaves out with your flat nose plier. Just kind of pull right along the seam. And it breaks open into two little even components. And then once you've opened that up, you can kind of fold those out just a little bit. And put it on your bench block and hammer it flat. So now you have a really awesome component that you can use to connect to other ones. You can use it to fold over a cabochon if you want to set it. I just think these are really cool pieces of sheet metal basically that are cut for you when you open them up. So I'm gonna just keep opening these beads up and hammering them. And I'm gonna need 8 total for my necklace. And then these, I'll just go ahead and show you how these open up because I'm gonna need 3 for the bottom. And with these little drum beads, I like to just crack them open like that. Okay, so now I've opened up all my beads and bead caps, and I'm gonna finish hammering them out. Okay, so everything is all hammered out and ready to be hole punched. And we're gonna need 8 of these components. And I've just laid my necklace here so I can kind of follow the pattern of where to punch the holes with my hole punch. I'm just gonna kind of lay them out side by side. And another cool thing about these is that one side is really shiny and one side is kind of matte. So I'm gonna make this one be matte today. So, all right, so just to punch a hole in these components, you want to just always make sure that you don't go too close to the edge. And punch. So this one's going to get 3. And the one on the opposite, very opposite side will have the same pattern, but going the opposite direction. The next one gets 6. Another thing is that when you use a punch like this, sometimes there's a little edge that forms, so make sure you don't cut yourself, and you can just kind of pull that off with a chain nose plier, or you can file it if you want. This middle one gets 6 as well. One, 6 again. And the bottom 3 each get 3 holes. Okay, so now we've punched all of our holes, and we're ready to connect everything with jump rings. If you need to, you can always hammer these back out a little bit if they've lost their shape or anything like that. I'm going to be using oval jump rings to do this because I think it will lay a little bit nicer. On the first one, I used round, and I think oval jump rings will just lay better, and also the opening is on the side of the jump ring, so it's going to be stronger, it's not going to pull apart, no worries there. All right, so now I've connected everything with jump rings, and the next thing I have to do is attach my chain and then attach the 3 little dangles at the bottom, and then I'll be done. So let's go ahead and grab our chain, and I'm just gonna cut it in the middle. I know this is a 16-inch chain, so I'm just gonna cut it in the middle. Two more jump rings to attach those. So now I'm going to make my little dangles at the bottom using these and these beads. You can also do just something on a head pin with a quick one-step looper if you'd like. These are just little flat beads, almost like a really big style of a wheel or hushy bead. And I'm going to use a little bit of 26 gauge wire to attach these. So I'm going to go ahead and stick my wire through the bead and through the center of this bead cap. And bring the tails up. And then I'm just gonna fold these down with my plier. I'm gonna use my plier because these get sharp. And just work your way around here. And if you want to get a tighter look like this, you can go ahead and hammer these out and reshape the whole piece. You can also do it backwards. So then once you've got your wire up here, you just take your round nose plier, grab both wires just above the bead, and we're gonna make a loop. So just push it 90 degrees away from you, readjust your plier just beyond that little bend, and then roll it back and bring those tails down. And you can either attach it straight to the piece, or you can use a jump ring. I'm gonna use a jump ring. So you're gonna make sure that your loop is going side to side like that. And then trim that off. Right up close. And use your chain nose plier to wrap that around. And then you'll just use another jump ring to attach that. All right, so I'm going to attach the other two just like I did this one, but keep in mind that you can always just use the beads by themselves. You don't have to do this part. All right, so there you go. I've attached all my pieces together and I'm finished with the necklace. And another cool thing about this is if you want an all metal look, you can just turn it over and it's reversible. Let's go back over the tools and supplies we used for this project. We used our Smashable beads and our little turquoise beads here. I used a little bit of wire here to wrap these beads together to the bead caps, and I used 26 gauge. And our bench block and hammer. We used our flush cutter, flat nose plier, chain nose plier, round nose plier, and hole punch, some jump rings, and some chain. If you'd like to purchase any of the tools or supplies we used today, check out the links in the description below. What kind of bead cap jewelry would you like to see? Let us know in the comments, and while you're there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell to stay tuned to future videos.